My name's Chad, and I bought a fixer-upper. Um, been a while, right? A couple months, several months since I've done a video update, and I think it's time to let everybody know what I've been up to. So, it's been an interesting couple of months. I'm gonna pan past that tree um, that used to be right there, and then try to splice in a few poor quality photos that I took of the thing falling down. Well, a third of it fell down, and I was lucky enough to have it miss the porch, and it took out the fence and was just shy of the neighbor's porch. So I got very, very lucky on that front. Um, but have had to have the arborist come and take the rest of the trunk out because I knew it was going to come down, and the rest of it was definitely going to come down onto onto my house, which I have paid more money than I want to think about to put new gutters on. So the inside is probably going to look pretty similar, I think. I have some new tools. You'll see I got a chop saw. I'm on my way when my finances get sorted out to get a table saw. But for the most part, it should be pretty similar. The interior cladding is gone. The plaster and lath is gone. Where there was drywall, that's gone. I've pulled out the cellulose insulation. I've wired a few lights so I can have some temporary lighting. I've taken, well, actually, when my parents were here, they were helping me a bit, and they started this project of taking up the carpet back here. And so the carpet is mostly gone. I have a little bit behind my little makeshift load transfer wall back there to take up and get rid of. But for the most part, the floors are actually in pretty good shape. I have a little bit of water damage in a few spots. You'll see that black spot there. And I have a fairly large bit of water damage in this room, which you can see starting here, the outline of the water damage, because there was a chimney in this corner, and I don't think that there was really any flashing on the chimney, or if there was, it just wasn't maintained, and it was just a real super highway for water to get into the house. And yeah, the white stuff on the wall there is it's not just mildew. I'm pretty sure that that is the remnants of fungal mycelium, which I've been taking out as I go. These studs are gonna have to get some partners put in, some sister studs put in, because I don't trust them. These studs that I'm panning to here in the interior wall will also have to be replaced because I don't trust them. And probably one of the bigger things that we did while my parents were here was to try to put some new new additional, whatever you want to call them, floor joists in up here. So they're in place. They're not sistered yet. I haven't gone to secure them because the floor above it has sagged so bad that we couldn't get them in straight. So if you want to sight down them, you'll see that some of them are a little twisted, and this one especially has got some room to improve before I go and I sister it in and I secure it to the sister stud, the original, sister floor joist, the original floor joist. And the process, flip the camera back to me. The process for that is, well, first we cleared out a bunch of stuff that was in the way. We actually removed the original plumbing that was up there and put in some temporary plumbing, removing the, well, quote unquote original. Removing that plumbing that was here when I got the house allowed us to put those new sister joists up. Yeah, getting access to that space has been step one. Step two is to come up with a plan for what to do. and I've been talking about it probably every video I make, but the second floor span that they wanted to do from, let me switch cameras again, from that interior wall, which is halfway down the house, to the exterior wall here. This is about a 16-foot span. They used 2x8 timbers in it, and even though they're originally were very hefty timbers, they're still not really gonna allow that span to exist without a lot of deflection. And so what I intend to do is, like, right where this light bulb lines up with this window, and I apologize for the lighting here, I'm gonna put a cross member in, and that window's gonna go away. I'm gonna board it over. I'll make it look nice, but the window's gonna go away, and then I'll be able to have very reliable load transfer from that beam to the foundation. And then I also have to get a similar arrangement worked out for where it ties in, so it would be a parallel. It would be parallel like this, right? It would be parallel like this, with the cross member coming in this way. Probably do a joist hanger on it to secure it, but then either end of this parallel piece is going to have to rest on something. So I want to use structural posts, those steel posts, and run that directly down into the foundation if I can get it. And if I can't get it, then I'll have to go downstairs to the basement and arrange kind of like a stacked column thing. And so that's what I got to do there. I have asked an architect to help me draw up some plans and help determine the size of those members, so that they will take the deflection out of that floor, and they will be able to support the second floor of the house without sagging over time. And simply put, I just don't trust myself to do the math. I've tried to do the math a couple times, and I keep coming up with different answers, and I'm not a math-minded person, so I'd really rather someone with experience in this was able to do it. So that's what we're doing. That's kind of what I'm waiting on there. When I get the dimensions and the type of beam, like if it needs to be an LVL or some other type of beam, then I'll put those on order and I'll get them in. And I've bought some special jacks to help me put those up, and I'll probably be asking some local friends to help me put those up. But in the meantime, I've kept myself busy with is this floor. You may remember there was linoleum on it. We took up most of the linoleum when we took up the carpet down here, and it left a bunch of mastic and paper backing behind. And so the last several days that I've been working on the house, I've been pulling it up. I've got a little video about that I'll splice in here. So this is the downstairs kitchen, probably from the mid-century remodel. This is what the floors look like. They decided to put linoleum down, and there's a mastic and a paper layer under the linoleum, or backing on the linoleum, I can't tell. The linoleum long since rotted away, and we pulled it up when we pulled out the carpet down here. This has been my little project lately to tide me over until I can get specifications back from someone with a math brain about how to fix my structural problems. Anyway, it all looked like that. It's all gonna look like this. Pardon my sweat and my water. And I gotta tell you, I want to share something with you. The putty knife sounds like a great idea. Paper backing seems wimpy. It takes up maybe a quarter of what's down. The paint scraper is where it's at. I even tried to buy a special paint scraper. Sorry, only got two hands. I even tried to buy a special floor scraper for this project, and it was so sharp and the floor is so uneven that it wound up digging into the floor. So hopefully it's not too much. I can't use this wood, but yeah, take the age and condition of your project into account when picking your tools, and learn from my mistakes. Here, but you may wonder why I did it by hand instead of with like a drum sander or a floor finisher type machine. And the basic answer is I knew that this crap would get gummed up in such a machine and probably destroy it, so I didn't want to have to pay for a brand new machine to the rental place. I also have some suspicion that some of the material could have asbestos in it, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't making fine dust and throwing it all over the house, but trying to keep it down to a minimum. And there it is in a pile, and I'll be able to scoop that up in a bag and put it away in the trash, send it to the proper place for disposal. But yeah, so let's see, what else can I tell you? We put in a new header over this doorway, which we're going to return to a stairwell, rebuild the stairwell where they turned it into a closet. It was originally a stairwell, but rebuild that header so that the floor joists above it have something solid to sit on, similar to this header. We also did that. I intend to move this door that I'm about to put in frame. I intend to move it over as far left as it can go. And then what I'm intending to do is for the second floor is to put the bathroom immediately above kind of this section of floor here, and then where that interior wall is, make that a wet wall and run my pipes and my drainage through that. And then in order to miss, pardon, I'm going to pan around to the other side. In order to miss a doorway that is underneath the floor right about to here, I need to try to run my plumbing basically right here. And so if I can move that doorway over, that should allow my plumbing drain to have a pretty straight shot without extra framing in the basement. And then it should be able to go past the basement wall, take a right turn, and connect with the main plumbing drain, which is, pardon my terrible camera work, the PVC. This PVC pipe is stacked above the main drain. So imagine that going under the floor, and that other drain going under the floor, and being able to tie into that. So that's kind of the ambition here. The other structural fixes I need to do are to pardon my terrible security device here, but over this window put a header. So build a header in, and then that will allow the cross member that's coming above these floor joists to rest on something solid, as well as try to fix this whole approach to framing that was originally the approach in this old balloon framed home. So I want to build that out. And then this large French door that I have here, I want to move that, pardon, I'm going to pan again. I want to move that to the opposite wall here, so I'll have to frame it, that opening, and it's actually going to help me correct some of the problems here, because I have some really creative choices in terms of where studs go and are cut and are helped and are not helped. But anyway, yeah, so, pardon that. So that is the big stuff. I haven't done much in the basement. I've been keeping busy outside trying to keep up with trash trees. I removed a ton of trees from the side of the foundation this year that the old owner had let grow up, and I was worried they were damaging the foundation. And so I took those out, did a bunch of trimming elsewhere on the property, and trying to keep the lawn up because the city doesn't like it when I let it get too high, so I gotta fix that. And then otherwise I have been really overwhelmed with my day job and not having the kind of the wherewithal to do the work on nights like I had originally intended with this whole project. Nights and weekends have just really not been available to me, so because of my day job and because I've actually been doing a little bit of traveling. So the last couple weekends I've been out of town, seeing people I care about, and just kind of trying to relax a little bit. But the clock is ticking on the house, and I do need to make progress, especially if I'm going to refinance it, and I need to refinance it. So that is what I'm working on, where I'm at. Yeah, I guess if you've got big questions for me, or you want to see something in particular, you can leave a comment on the video. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of try to charge ahead, plug ahead on my own. Oh, and I think one last thing I'll mention is that I'm pretty confident I've settled on a layout for the first floor and the location of the bathroom and the location of the pantry. So I'm going to try to put an image of that, splice an image of that into this video, um, and then you'll be able to see kind of where I'm going to go. Yeah, I guess the last little details, I gotta rip down that ceiling on the back addition off the house so I can get up in there and screw around with framing. I've got to take that big chimney out. Um, yeah, it should be some good times. I think I'm probably gonna wait till fall before I start trying to take things off the roof, because getting up in the attic is kind of like asking for heat stroke right now. So um, yeah, that's where I'm at. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.